Hi guys, it's me, just London again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to Asian History Month in 2025, I shall be talking about a big movie here in Japanese cinema, and in world cinema as a whole. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big deal. I'm talking about the 1950 movie Rashomon, named after, I think it was named after the temple where it takes place in, and where the story is being told. Anyway, this is a very special film, being that there's an actual psychological effect named after the name of this movie, called the Rashomon effect, which I will get to when I'm done with the main video here. But this one changed everything for cinema. You might say that that I see a lot of Japanese movies and a lot of important cinema and stuff, that it was a big one. It changed cinema. Well, this one really did. It expanded upon an idea, and people ran with it. People have a lot of things to thank for this movie. If we didn't have this movie, many others would be made, like 12 Angry Men, like any police procedural with a jury and multiple different perspectives on an event that happens, like My Cousin Vinny or something like that. So it's a very big deal, and also it's very special to me because when I was in my Japanese culture and aesthetic class, this is one of 5 films that we could pick from to and do a paper on. And I picked this one because it was the first one, because I like to finish first when I'm in a group of people. I like to do my projects first, to get out of the way first. So there was this movie, Rashomon, Tenpenpo, and there was one, Paprika, and then there was, the other two, the Spiritual Way, and then there was, maybe something about shoplifting. Yeah, it's shoplifters. Oh no, wait, it was Your Name. Paprika, Rashomon, Tenpenpo. Yeah, Tenpenpo. The Spirit Way, Tenpenpo. Rashomon. Your Name. Oh yeah, Paprika. So, I like a dork, even though I had to only review, I only had to watch 4 of them. Yeah, I watched all 5 of them, and then I commented on the other people doing this for the other stuff for points, because I just love Japanese cinema so much. But this is a very big one, and I'll get into why when I get into the movie. So anyway, it's like during feudal Japan, during the samurai princess and rogue time period. So it was like very distant in the past. So in any case, this woodcutter, this mostly along doing doing his business, finding wood and cutting it for firewood and whatnot, maybe furniture and stuff. And then he comes across a dead body in a pile of leaves. Now that's there for a while now. So we end up finding out this guy goes to the police about it. And the police in that time period in Japan. And he's talking to the constable about what went down, how he discovered this dead body. And then they end up rounding up a bunch of people that were witnesses to this horrible crime. That being the princess herself and the thief or the rogue person, the ninja or the rogue samurai of the group. And it turns out that the last person is, well, the deceased bodyguard, who's also a bow and arrow man. And that's the main problem with this movie that I've seen so far. You know, you think that they would have like a high value princess over there. You think that they would have like more than one bow and arrow man guarding her and protecting her, besides the horse. You would think that they'd be like 2 or 3, maybe 4 people on watch on this one person, but I guess not. There were so many cars that this movie wouldn't be able to happen. And yeah, you know, talk about all this stuff, and this whole thing is taking place from a guy's flashback to what happened, and he's right now in a Rashomon temple, talking with a monk over this whole thing, and another guy that's kind of despicable in his own right. But I'll get to him when I get to him. So anyway, he's reminiscing about what happened at the court scene, and how the rogue guy, the thief, ended up talking first about what went down over there. Why this guy, this armed guard is face down in the dirt, covered in leaves. And he's been there for a while because the leaves are up to his hair knot in the back of his head. So he goes into his story of the string at the sun for a good while, being tied up, and I love this guy. I love this guy to death. No pun intended. But he's so funny. He's got the voice of a hyena. He's also got a hyena, and he's got the mannerisms of a cross between Kabuki and a guy with Tourette's syndrome, because he's just all over the place, funny and laughing and all that stuff. I think he might be part of Joker's posse, because he's just so over the top and so loony in the way he smiles at people and stuff. Just fun crazy. And I also like the way the witnesses are addressing, look at the camera as if we're the judges and the jury to this whole thing, or wherever the Japanese equivalent is. So that's pretty funny, the way that they you know, this happened. Now, because I don't know Japanese that well, I was unable to translate this movie exactly. Like YouTube, thanks for nothing. But I remember enough of it when I was in taking for a class that I was able to retain it very much. And like the other one, the Tempopo movie, you didn't understand Japanese, but you could pretty much follow along with it. You can pretty much make sense of what they do because of the action and stuff of what they do and things. But in this one, you can't really do that unless you know forget about what's going on. It's really hard to tell. So anyway, the guy's walking along with the horse carrying the mate, the princess, quote unquote, the virgin princess, because that was a big deal back then. And she's wearing the type of head garment to be like modest. And she looks a lot like the pink leaf from Avatar. It goes there. It also resembles a mosquito net. I mean, really, it's supposed to be like a white veil, but it looks like a mosquito net. Possibly both what do function, because they all work in the weird time, so I try to buggies all hell over there. So anyway, all of a sudden they have this rogue come in, this scoundrel, and he's over there wanting to get some princess action. If it sounds kind to me, it's probably the inspiration for the movie Star Wars. In case you haven't known, the scene resembled what happened in Star Wars during the kiss between Leia and Han Solo, the scoundrels group. And I think that George Lucas probably saw this masterpiece by Akira Kurosawa and said, that's good, but let me make it into a science fiction thing in the galaxy far, far away. When the guy kissed the woman after he beats down the guards and stuff, he's like, give me some of the princess. Let me kiss the princess, like Mario. And it's supposed to be a rape scene, but rightly so. The sensibility of the 1950s in Japan wasn't ready for that kind of thing in cinema or anywhere for that matter. So the only thing we get is a kiss, which, granted, it's a really intense kiss, but still, that's very limit as to the sexual deviancy that you can allow on cinematic screens at the time. But as you can tell, because the guy is the one that's telling this part of the story, it's like a really great kiss. Fantastic kiss. Like, they hold on for like many seconds. The kind of fun you would see at the end of a romance movie. And then afterwards, she begged him for more. She's like, please don't go, please don't go, please don't go. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. But then when it comes time to for the woman to tell a story, she does a little bit differently. A little bit more realistically, I should say. But there are still some blanks in there. Like the fact that she ran away multiple times. She was hysterical, crying. She was cursing and all this stuff. I'm sure in Japanese. She was saying, something along the lines of, no, get away from me. I don't want you around here. Don't go near me. What'd you do to my bodyguard and all this stuff? And then she actually turns to the bodyguard which is all cleaned up, and you just staring at her like that, like judging her. It's still alive and all that, but he's judging her. Like, you know what you did. You know you allowed the man to kiss you and then have his way with you and stuff, so. Then she cries some more. And then the guy's face on there is like, this woman is cray cray. Do you even want this action? You know, the girl that's emotional, that's nuts. Also, I gotta point out that looks during this part of the movie, during the whole thing of the movie, when she's on trial, you know, doing the telling her side of the story in the field, in the little box area outdoors that looks like the first round of Squid Game. So anyway, they show as part of the makeup tradition of time. She got white face, we painted on brush on eyebrows, thick eyebrows. She looks like a no mask from No Place. That's N-H, N-O-H, no mask. It also looks like the little orb mask that you picked up in Dante's Devil May Cry game series. Now, this is all a bunch of makeup and stuff. But when she's crying in the movie, which is quite often, she's crying for obvious reasons. She says, her face paint doesn't run. Unless it's waterproof or something. Which makes me believe that either she's real born with it, or maybe it's Maybelline. My apologies for showing my age with that joke, but I am turning 40 in a couple weeks, so have at you in the comments below on that one. So anyway, which by the way, I don't like that look on women, though. I don't like it when women feel the need to put so much makeup on themselves that they end up becoming pure white, like a ghost. And speaking of which, we have the fourth member of the party here. Now, you might ask yourself, what could I possibly be talking about? There are only two people there. Two live people there. The scoundrel rogue guy there, the bad guy, and we have the beautiful, virtuous princess who would never do anything bad, wouldn't even hurt a fly. But no, turns out that there's one more person in it that's like the biggest and the best witness of them all. The dead, the deceased bodyguard. Now you might ask yourself, he doesn't count, he's dead. How are they going to possibly make him resurrect him to be a witness on his own murder trial? Well, oh my duckies. Let me tell you, he pulled in a Chandler right out of Pokemon, right out of Japanese mythology. Shinto princess maiden. Yeah, it's right, maiden. No, clearly an older woman, I should say, maybe 50, 60-ish. And what they do with this girl is real great, because she addresses the audience, the judges, and it's clearly a woman that does it, because that's the way the Shintoism was back then. They used to only have women priestesses. I don't know if that. I'm pretty sure that even to the modern day they do that. But given her garb and her looks and stuff, I'd say that she looks like a Kikyo from Inuyasha. So therefore she's a woman priestess in the Field era. But in any case, they do that thing where they make her into a trance, like say, challenge the dead person's spirit or ghost or essence. But what I really like about this is that they give her a really creepy voice. The from the Exorcist. And it's very clearly a man's voice coming out of a woman. So it's a very good job with dubbing on that regard. It's not just for translation purposes, it's actually created creepy and otherworldly effect. And it's very, very good. Because I don't know if they got the actual character voice to this character, but he did a spectacular job with just doing the eeriness of it all. That with her puppet-like movements, it's really, really good. So anyway, as the guy, she said that the rogue actually did seduce the woman and had sex with her and all that, and that she ran away from him at first, so he caught up with her, and then he tried to have his way with her. But this was the problem that the bodyguard didn't see the whole thing. But then eventually he gets free and he ends up doing the guy with a sword fight. The dual sword from Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't do it, but you know what I'm talking about. So they clash. They're both shaking about it. It's a life or death situation. And the rogue actually stabs him in where he's off the ground, almost begging for life. Kind of like Kylo Ren with his father, Ben and Han. And we hate the guy even more now, because he was innocent and stuff like that. Make him so like a primrose, like he's good as the gold and all that. Same with the girl. The girl made her side of the story sound pretty good, pretty noble. Trying to fight the man and all this stuff. But it makes it sound like she wanted it too. And in any case, the guy gets stabbed in the chest. I think it's the chest anyway. But they don't actually show the blade going into the guy's body. Because I'm sure that'd be too much for Japanese audiences and world audiences at that time. So they just cut away from it. They don't even show any fake blood splatter or fake tissue or whatever being punctured or whatever. So the guy ends up leaving him for dead. Now, earlier in the movie, I think one of the perspectives is that one of the guy grabs a sword and he is about to perform Subogu, and we stab someone in the stomach over something, but then they cut away to something else. So I think that could have been like a perspective issue, that that the woman or the rogue guy, the bad guy, saw him do that and ran away time, so he ended the whole thing. So anyway, he gets stabbed from the guy using dueling two swords, something that not even the Master Chief can do yet. So, props that guy's doing something that a modern viewing character can't even do. So, yeah, you find out the bad guy, well, is the bad guy. He's brought up to prison, or whatever Japanese equivalent to that would be. And, the woman is like, she defiled, and she's shamed for it. And, even though it wasn't her fault altogether, but, then we see the guy who's talking to the guy about what happened in the story, and they're at like a Rashomon temple, and it's being like very terribly. And then all of a sudden, another guy shows up, even badder guy, because there's a baby in there. Why they didn't hear him before, I have no idea. Maybe it was the rain that drowned the noise of the baby. But then this guy ends up trying to steal the swallowed cloth from this baby. And I'm like, who does that? What kind of a sick fuck tried to take it from a baby like that? His own clothes. They're nice clothes, but that's the clothes for the baby nonetheless. Also, I gotta point out that the bodyguard has nice pants. Same with the princess, and the rogue guy didn't wear much of anything. So, I'm really kind of pissed off that the guy would try to take from a baby like that. The woodcutter and the monk with him are like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you taking from a little baby? Especially when it's cold outside. But the guy didn't give a shit. He just walks away with the baby clothes and all that. Which is kind of sick, actually, but whatever. So, he must be related to the rogue somehow. So, anyway, they end up talking a little bit, and then when the rain stops, the woodcutter ends up taking the baby with him, because the baby's got nowhere to work, no one to help him out, nobody to feed him, nobody to change him and all that. Also, I like to think that him taking the baby is kind of like a ray of hope for humanity after this dark and troubling trial and all that. But I like the way they portrayed as each one told the story, that they got hold in their stories. Like when they ran away, so that the bodyguard can't see him while he's alive. I like the way the rogue says, I kissed her. It was the best kiss I ever gave her. No, it wasn't. You still kissed her without her permission, without her wanting it. And then they showed the girl as being emotional and very, I don't want you anymore, and I want this guy and all this stuff. After he showed me a good time, I'm his now. So anyway, that was the movie Rashomon. A very good movie that predated Godzilla by 4 years. And it's a masterpiece by Kurosawa. Very excellent movie. But the effect it had on all cinema afterwards was very, very good. In fact, they called it the Rashomon effect, which I wrote a paper on too, after the movie. And pretty much it said that if you have an event with more than two people involved, more than two witnesses involved, each witness will have a different perspective, and oftentimes those multiple perspectives will catch different details of the same event, and either omit or not see the other details of the event due to, say, memory loss or human error or omission, or just plain not being able to see it. That line of sight might be broken or something or other. So we can see this in movies like 12 Angry Men, or any type of jury movie like My Cousin Minnie, for example, or say cartoons do all the time, in which, like, say, 5 people witness an event, and each person's view of it will be different, and then the one next to them, or somebody across the room where you have a different perspective on something, than somebody else, I'll say. I've also had that experience where I think that people are yelling at me from across the room, but my neighbor, my aide, said to me, but they were talking at normal volume and all that stuff. So it's more like, because they were talking to me, it seemed like they were yelling at me, like I was doing wrong to them on their part. But to my aide, they were just talking normal because they weren't directing their voice to him. So anyway, I'll say there are cartoons that do that, there are majors that do that. It's a psychological thing that we can't observe an event from every single conceivable angle. There will be human error, there will be line of sight error, there will be perspective errors. The only being out there that can possibly see every event, every conceivable angle, and get every single thing observed properly with 100% accuracy and 100% truth, or what to the watcher from the Marvel universe. And he didn't want to actually see everything properly, truthfully, and all that. So even in historical documents and documentaries and whatnot, even they have a slight skewed perspective on something like the Civil War, that the victors are the ones that often write history. It's never the losers in the conflict. It's never a minority group that writes history. If not, our textbook will look so different than what they do now. So it's a lot bigger than, say, cinema or law or anything else. It's a bigger topic. And all because of this movie. The movie pretty much qualified it. So thank you, Mr. Akira Kurosawa, for presenting a wonderful movie and a wonderful psychological effect to light. And I thank you for watching my video on Rashomon and its effect. It's a great movie. A great movie. You could tell that you guys probably thinking that I could apologize to Donald Trump and his administration, and that he tried to change the perspective on something that, like, for example, tariffs. We know we're all liable that tariffs are bad for the country, the way he implements them anyway. but he's trying to change the narrative to say that they're good for us. And that could actually be a Rashomon affecting for another video altogether. But right now I'm looking for the movie and the effect. So yeah, I did this movie for Asian History Month for 2025. And by the way, you can also plug that in not just Trump, but any other politician that we've had in office. Like Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, Abraham Lincoln, Nixon, etc., etc. And then even go back to George Washington. Can do like the Louisiana Purchase, for example, was a breakaway from King England at the time, or whatever. Oh, you could probably even go back to the Big Bang and see whether that was different perspectives on that theoretical thing. So you can apply this to every event in human history, in universal history too. And it's all in the quest for truth, absolute truth, about what happened during events and time periods and whatnot. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. And as the visual, I give this my happy face a seal of approval. Not only because I wrote paper on it for my class, because I think it's a good movie and good effect. I came out of it. So, if you look what you see here, and you want to see more of my videos, you can like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also comment or text me for any type of input and my future stuff. At my number is 631-707-3707, and also can find out involvement on Twitter or X if you prefer at Pete Nelson Pro. Also, you can get me on my email at jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I enjoyed Rashomon. I enjoyed looking at it and saying, I recognize that from Star Wars. I recognize this from this cartoon. I recognize this from whatever else. I recognize the effect that it had on other projects. And thank you for watching my video on Rashomon and the effect on the world. So, if we don't like Japanese cinema, this is a big one, like I said. A very big one. A big, beautiful one, if you will. And it was very fun to talk about and see it again. It wasn't fun not having any subtitles for it, but what you gonna do, right? So anyway, peace out, my parents. I'll see you in the next video, all you girls and guys in Internet Land. See ya. Sayonara. Aloha.